Hello and welcome back to another episode of your favorite podcast. It's your boy Day.
And I'm David, and it's showtime, baby. This is Call Me Limbo. I was talking to a friend of the podcast, Lindsay Tallman, the other day, and I don't know why I said that, but we just had a really good laugh about.
I like
I was talking about something. I was like, "It's showtime, baby." The other one I had was "Give me 10, give me 10, give me 10, give me
what is
10."
that?
Have you seen this?
No.
It's from Love Island.
TikTok is 2 weeks above. Oh, it's Love Island. Okay.
Yes. I started watching Love Island season 8.
Okay. Is that the newest one?
This is the newest one.
Okay. I need
You've
to
gotta
watch this.
watch it. You have got to watch it. I really want your, like, sociological opinion
Are you with
on
my
it.
problematic takes? Maybe I'll watch an episode
That
tonight because I keep hearing like this is probably the most I've just like heard of this season of the show. Like I've known of the show, but I feel like just in like a random cultural zeitgeist, it has been more talked about. While I don't know what they're talking about, I've seen Love Island or heard like I'm trolling, scrolling down something. I just see their names more frequently, so it must be a crazy season. So maybe I'll watch. I'll try to
it's
watch an
so
episode. I'll put it on while I'm writing
it's
tonight.
so good.
Just remind me.
And we're only really, like, 2 weeks in.
Oh,
So,
really?
like, it's still relatively new. And we're recording early this week on Tuesday. And tonight, Tuesday, so this will have already happened by the time this episode comes out, is the first night that people can vote. And so people get to vote. Do you know this? People
No, I
get to
didn't know this.
vote on, like, their favorite couples and who they think really belong together. It's a little wild because the people who win they win $100,000. The couple that wins, yeah, wins like $100,000. I think that they split it, is if I had to guess,
Dude,
for
let
each
me
of
go on
the
there.
people. And then after taxes, it's probably like 30. So
Hey,
but you know what? I would still take it. And yeah, so you vote on your favorite couple. So I will be voting for Casey and Anaya.
okay.
They're great. No one was behind Casey's door. And so Casey had to go sit in the corner. Casey's my favorite. He's beautiful and he's so sweet. And no one was behind his door. And then there were two people behind, I think, Sincere's door, and Melanie
Heard
and
that name a
Anaya.
lot.
Yeah, Sincere's great.
Sincere.
He's the one with the beautiful hair,
Okay. I've
kind of like,
heard of him. I don't know who they are, but I've seen that's the name I see come up a lot.
yeah, he's really cute too. He looks kind of like this guy that I sort of dated in Atlanta, like minus the long hair. And it always
Hmm.
reminds me of Kier. So I hope
I have
Kier's
to
good.
look him up. Off camera, we'll talk about it because if it's who,
Yes.
yeah, because I'd be curious if it's somebody that I
Yeah.
know.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, maybe.
could be.
But yeah, but Sincere chose Melanie, and Melanie was the one who, like, Beatrice, or Bea as they call her.
Right.
She said that you can call her Bea or Beatrice. And she confronted Melanie about the new bombshell that came into the villa because
You can't tell me that part
Kinsey.
because I'm gonna watch it now. I'm shook.
Yes, because Kinsey was the single one, but evidently Melanie was showing interest, supposedly. So Bea confronted her, and Melanie just needed a moment, and she kept walking around going, "Give me 10, give me 10, give me 10." And, like, people have, like, remixed this into music of
Oh
her saying,
gosh.
like, "Give me 10, give me 10." And I was like, I've also heard takes online of people saying, like, if you close your eyes during Melanie saying that, it sounds just like Kamala Harris. And they're right. Like, she sounds just like Kamala Harris saying, like,
Interesting.
if Kamala Harris were saying, like, "Give me 10." And I was like, all these takes online were like, oh my gosh, like, this, like, confrontation. And my, like, perspective on it was like, wow, she is so, like, emotionally, like, intelligent, realizing that she just needs to take a time out and reset. And I was like, I've been very impressed. Many of these people are like, the oldest one is 29. And
Oh,
so and many of them are saying, like, oh wow, like that, wow, I've never dated someone with a 7-year age gap. The other one's like 22,
wow.
Trinity and Bryce,
Oh
because Bryce,
wow.
and they are, so yeah, and so it's just so funny. It's so funny and it's so great. And, like, nobody better hurt my girl Kinsey's feelings. Oh,
Okay.
I like she's so funny and so expressive. She's the one, if you've seen the intro video, doing a lot of splits on the bed.
Mm.
So
Oh,
yeah,
that's a challenge.
she also gave, like, during one of the challenges, Kata a kiss. So I was like, hey, there's some like same-sex action
Okay.
representation in the month of June. Hey, we love to
We
see
love
it.
that.
Kata also said that she was like, yeah, I don't eat McDonald's anymore. And people are interpreting that as like standing in like solidarity with like the Palestinians. And I was like, yes, okay. So it's very
That
interesting to watch from like a sociological perspective. I really want you to see. And Beatrice is a like the representation is so cool too. Like she's paraplegic and she's like
oh,
she was on like the US Paralympic team, and like she's like gotten medals. Like she's really good. And so it's like just the representation of like just races and like abilities and like
y'all
I
know these shows
really
stress
would.
me out. So you know my commentary is not y'all you want my commentary until I give my commentary because these types of shows stress me out. I don't. But I'll watch it just for you, y'all. See, don't ever say I didn't do nothing for you. In Pride Month, I'm gonna watch it and give my unfiltered commentary about the people. Now, is this the one? Because I just funny enough, you mentioned this. So yesterday, I had an event that I went to, and a friend's boyfriend was there that I hadn't seen in a while. And he was telling me that him and the two of them had just gotten into watching more reality dating shows. And I was telling him about you, like, yeah, my friend wants me to watch them. But one of the shows he mentioned was he says, like, you go there with a partner and like they have different people on the place on the island trying to get your attention and like pretty much people will be having a happy adult fun time and it'll light up and it'll tell the other like I don't understand. Is that the same show? Is that that
I
show?
think that's too hot to handle. I think that's too hot
Okay.
to handle. Also, must see TV. Also,
Okay.
great television.
Temptation Island. I think that's what it was that he was. I don't know why I
That's a good one
remembered that
too.
randomly, but yes, that's
Okay.
okay.
Yes.
But I think they mentioned Love Island. All of them are on an island, and I feel like maybe that's why I avoid islands. But I'm going to try to watch. I can only handle one at a time, so I'm going to watch Love Island. Is the one season 8? Okay, this is the
Yeah, that's the
most.
current season.
I promised y'all that I would do it. So I don't know how I'm going to get the people my thoughts, but I will watch it just for you.
Thank you.
Maybe
Yeah,
I'll
it's
do
so good.
a video.
Like, it's so good. The only other like Love Island that I've ever watched was the original British one. And so
Oh,
like
I
the
think I
one
know
out
which
of
one
the
you're talking about.
UK, and that one was great. And so I've never watched one of the USA, the Love Island USA. So I'm very invested.
Really?
It's the most
Okay.
patriotic that I felt in a while. But supposedly too, they film in Fiji, and supposedly the people on Survivor are also like on this like same island in Fiji, and sometimes they can hear like the Love Island fireworks and stuff happening on and Survivor. And so I was
Imagine.
like, interesting.
Imagine you're out there eating bugs and praying you don't die, and they're over there having a fiesta. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Well, if you two are a Love Island fan, please share, comment about it because David, people are gonna need. I want y'all. I want to know what you want me to say about what questions you have about the show. So, or David, because clearly y'all like our little pop culture takes. So, which is funny to me because I always feel like I'm out of the loop. So, yeah, I'll watch it. I'm gonna see how this goes.
it's so good. So
I'll probably
I
actually, I'm gonna think that I'll probably watch it Friday because I am filming the dating show that I'm on Thursday. And so I don't want to be influenced by watching dating shows. Even though funny enough, like I've said before, the host for this one is the winner of season 3 of Love Island. But I'll watch it after I film that. There we go.
Yeah, well, I also wanted to give you an update. I heard from some listeners as well, Dave. So from what we've talked about in past episodes. So Liz, my friend Liz, wrote in as well and with some food recommendations here in Denver based on like our food conversation a couple of weeks ago. So thank you to Liz for writing in with restaurant recommendations and like things to order at at these restaurants. Like thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm very excited to check them out. And then also she wrote in last week as well, but my friend Lindsay wrote in with some additional gay icons. So
Yeah.
she said Angelica's mom from Rugrats,
Yes.
gay icon.
Agreed. Agreed. A boss. Honestly, a
Okay.
trailblazer, if we really want to be honest. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Kudos to
Yeah.
Lindsay.
I had to look her up.
Oh,
I had
she's
to
the
look
best.
her up.
She was the best. She was a boss. Because, the gays love a
And
mean lady. Um, and but it's not just that she was a mean, because it was like she was just a very, very assertive woman that you just did. First of all, her name was Charlotte Pickles. Want to be very give Charlotte all her flowers. She was a businesswoman. She was stern. She was always on her cell phone, which, like, when you think about it now, it's like you didn't see cell phones weren't ubiquitous in like the late 90s, early 2000s in the way that it was for her, because she was always on the phone, had Jonathan, 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 da, 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 da. So, like, yes, shout out to Charlotte Pickles. Amazing. Wouldn't have thought of
okay.
that,
Yeah.
but
I
very on point.
yeah. Yeah. Great recommendation. She also said Ellen DeGeneres, which I was like, you know what? You're right.
Yeah,
Ellen was a
by default.
trailblazer at the time. Yes, yes. Will and Grace, she reminded me of Will and Grace. And I was like, yep, you're
Yes.
right. That was also kind of like a trailblazing show at the time. And then Lindsay also said, I hate to be the one to say this, but Paris is problematic for the gays and people of color. So, because we also said that Paris was a gay icon in addition to
I don't
Nicole
know nothing
Richie.
about her problematic take, so she's still gonna be an icon in my opinion. Sorry, Lindsay. I honestly, this is why I tell people, if you look close enough on anybody, they're gonna be problematic. So I have really worked to stop looking, because I'm like, because see, if you're
Sure.
throwing it in my face that it reaches me, then you're actually doing too much. Like Nicki was doing too much, Kanye doing too much.
Sure.
There's, like, some people that I feel like, "Y'all, this is way too much lore." If I have to pull out a textbook, get a whiteboard or a thesaurus, we're doing too much. Get out of their business. So I'm just gonna pretend that's not where, Paris lives anymore, because all rich people are low-key problematic sometimes. I'm just gonna pretend. Just gonna pretend. It's good for my
Yeah.
mental health, because
Yeah.
that's hot,
Based
you know?
It is hot, and I was like, based on, like, what I looked up a little bit before, Paris was definitely the grand marshal of WeHo, West Hollywood Pride, several years ago, and I guess her husband, like, was there, and she said, like, "Don't you feel so proud or, like, happy?" or something like that, and I guess he said, like, "No," and so then they haven't done it. So then there's also been controversy around them asking Kathy Hilton, I guess, to be the grand marshal
What
of
that got to do with her?
again. And then they said that I recently heard that like Kathy is no longer doing it. But
But I thought her
so
and Kathy had this again. I only know this because I watched a Mateo Lane video and they were talking about it. Don't they have a very contentious, like, they have an interesting dynamic, her and her mother? Because I'm trying to understand what her husband's issues got to do with her.
I don't
I don't
know.
know. It's
Yeah,
above me.
I don't know.
But you know what,
I'm
Lindsay, I
just
know you'll write
relaying.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know
relaying
you'll write
message.
it in, and I love you.
Yeah. So yeah. And then the best thing that Lindsay reminded me of was when I was in like junior high school, I had access to Abercrombie magazines.
They
And
made
that was
vaccines?
also Yeah, yes, they did. They made like lookbooks and you could buy them at the store. And a lot of times, like, there would be like a few provocative photos where it was just like men with like their butts out. And so, like, yes, and they were just so like scandalous and so sexy. And like, and for me also, I forgot to, I was like, if you ever stood outside an Abercrombie store shirtless or a Hollister store shirtless, maybe, I would say gay icons. I would be curious to know how many of those men are gay now. But
Well,
yes, but
they
that
did a
also helped me.
documentary about that. about, like, a lot of the unfortunate, like, predatory behaviors and, like, bad it's called Watch White Hot: The Rise and Fall of Abercrombie& and Fitch. It was really, really sad. It talked a lot about their controversies, especially when it comes to how they were the dark side of how they were treating men and some of the alleged things that were happening behind the scenes, and so I'm not really shocked, but I always feel like anytime things are over sexualized in that way, there's likely to be some foolishness afoot, so but they were
Yeah.
trailblazing in that way, like, I agree with you. Um, wait, I thought Hollister was the one I get confused, David. What's the Hollister Hollister's a different company, right?
It's a different company, but I believe they were owned. I believe that Abercrombie was the parent company of both of them, of Hollister as well.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I think that Abercrombie also owned Hollister. And it
'Cause
was
didn't they
more
have
like
shirtless men?
California kind of be did they what?
'Cause didn't they both didn't I think I'm thinking of Hollister with the shirtless men, but maybe I'm wrong.
They had shirtless men there too, but it was
Okay.
more like they stood outside of like a little tiki cabana kind
Yeah.
of thing. And they had, like, kind of, like, California long hair, whereas, like, I think Abercrombie was more of, like, that there was a lot of, like, racism embedded into, like, the culture of these companies, and a lot of their dress codes were also, like, very racist in terms of, like,
Mhm.
not allowing people to wear, like, hijabs and, like,
Alright,
because it
nobody
didn't
would.
fit the dress code, quote, unquote. And so, like, these companies were very, very problematic. And, like, the CEO I think that there was a documentary about the CEO of Abercrombie who was
It
also just
is.
kind of a pervert, and so, yeah, but yeah, but I was like, the men standing shirtless outside the stores in the malls were real just the greeters, that was their job, to stand around shirtless and say hello, but yeah, and these magazines, oh, they were great, so I was really thankful to Lindsay for reminding me of that. But I'm curious as well. I have a couple of politics things I'm curious if you've seen, but I'm curious if there were some things too since it's gay month. I was like, are there any like things that you do that would maybe be problematic as a gay person? Like, for me, they've just built a Chick-fil-A down the street from me, and I've been going and getting frosted coffees from them,
Oh,
like, maybe once a week, and they're delicious. They're delicious. I even downloaded the app, and I have, like, 400 points now on the app, and I was like, "I know that they are problematic and that their company is like, the owners are, like, homophobic, and they donate to, like, not anti-LGBTQ causes, and also there's no ethical consumption under capitalism. So I was like, are there any things that you do as a gay that
absolutely. First and
some
foremost, I will say this. I worked at Chick-fil-A as a young it was my first job, and, like, it's really
right.
interesting so because there's, like, so many gay owners and, like, what they call operators, so it's a very complex feeling with that. I will say, if you've never had it, it's probably way too much sugar, and I don't recommend it on the regular, but their mocha cookie cream crumble iced coffee, crack. Don't it's really good. Because they use the ice cream like the cream from the ice cream as the creamer. It's really good. Um, but I would say my this is so problem now that I'm saying
I can't wait.
I use
Tell
the
me.
F slur way too much.
Yeah,
That's probably my
it's fine.
problematic take.
Yeah, that's alright. We are not shaming and blaming,
Yeah.
but yeah,
And then I
I do
say
too
SPF. I
sometimes.
always say sissies, punks, and F slurs. So I call it SPF, like sunblock.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's
I'm like,
funny.
ugh.
Is there, like, a rating on the SPF? Like, 70 is, like, ultra? Like, or
I
no, it's
haven't
just all of the
added
above?
that, but now that you've said it, I feel it coming. I mean, look at that SPF
Sure.
70. I actually like that. I'm gonna
Yeah,
add that.
yeah,
It just feels good. Like, of course, I don't use it in mixed company, I treat it
Mhm.
like I treat the N-word. I try to use it when appropriate and in proper company because I don't everybody has their different takes on, like, in community words. For me, that's one where I'm like, I don't even wanna because we know there are people who use it with malicious intent, and that's not really my case. My case is usually it's comedic or, like, it's obvious that I'm, like, making fun or something.
I think that's all right. That's all right. We are allowed to
Exactly.
use that word.
Yeah. And I ask people, like, if somebody's actually offended by it, I do know people I have encountered people who are, and I just don't use it with them.
Yeah, that's all right. So, yeah. I'm curious if you saw too, again, this might be a couple days old news by the time this comes out, but CNN just reported that Graham Plattner is going to win the Democratic nomination in Maine.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you see that?
Yeah, because
So,
Janet
yeah.
Mills I mean, it's been, like, reported that way for a minute because Janet Mills dropped out, essentially,
Oh,
so yeah, she had dropped out a while ago, so, essentially, he was gonna be the nominee. But, yes, it officially is tonight when we're recording, so,
yes.
um,
Okay.
it
That's
probably is
just
already
because, yeah, CNN was like reporting it was like 70 some to like 20 some. But they
yeah,
still were reporting Janet. So I was like, maybe, I don't know if she dropped out, maybe then.
yeah.
Or
I can't remember I think some of the ballots might have been cast when she was still in it, if that
okay.
makes sense. But yeah, she dropped
Nice.
out of the race. I was trying to see if I can find when. April 30th is when she
Okay.
had dropped out. Which I mean, hey, there's been a lot of conversation around. I'm curious your thoughts on this because there have been things about his personal life that have come out that has caused a lot of consternation amongst people across the ideological spectrum. And so I don't know if you'd seen it, if you'd had any thoughts on it. I'm kind of torn.
Yeah, I've heard about his tattoos. I've heard about that, and that's really about the only, like, personal thing that I've heard that seems to be, like, a big controversy. Where
Yeah.
does Graham Plattner stand on Palestine? Do you know?
He's very pro-Palestinian. He doesn't believe in supporting which is kind of it's not funny, but interestingly enough, the first scandal was the tattoo thing. And of course, he was like, I didn't know that. That's what that stood for. So, of course, the Nazi part he doesn't agree with. So, there's a couple things. The most recent thing is that there was some extramarital texting, having some sexual explicit he even admitted to us, so I don't have to say allegedly, to exchanging
Okay.
sexually explicit messages with women back in 2023, right after his marriage. Um, him and his wife standing by. She gonna that's my man. I'm gonna stand beside him. Sorry. So she's decided, she gonna stay with him, and they've been working through that in counseling. A New York Times investigation. It was kind of weird because, like, the way that they tried to source it, it was kind of like they couldn't really fully corroborate everything, but they're trying to. Like, one ex-girlfriend said he had twisted her arm and locked her in a room. So it was just kinda like he categorically, like, fully denies any of the physical violence claims, but did, admit to being a bad boyfriend in previous relationships. And then, he had a bunch of crazy old Reddit posts when he talks about, he said it was pretty much during the time of his PTSD and really struggling when he came back from war. So many people, it's really interesting because it sparked a conversation about, like, pure, for lack of better words, purity test versus winning. Um, of course, a lot of the people using it, I think, are using it nefariously because there's the conversation that I agree with, where there's so much scrutiny and so much interest in his personal life. Like, what's something about Janet Mills? If I'm not mistaken, Janet Mills is the one that, and Lord, let me verify so I'll have to have a text later, that she had the condition where she was constantly shaking. And if I'm not mistaken, she just argued that, you know, she's fine, that, it's a health condition and she's fine. But it's like, okay, but she won't release her medical records. And it's like, that's considered just the norm. But there's like an intense amount of scrutiny on his life. I do think somebody said, and I wish I could credit them, that we have reached an era where people have been on the internet long enough where you're going to find craziness, especially from just everyday people who didn't wake up thinking, I want to be the president. So whether that be sexual photos, sexting, anything, like it's just going to be a part of the gig. So how do we navigate that?
You know, it's funny that you say that because it's like I found uh, uh, like a sexual Twitter page the other day. I was not looking for it. I just like it. I wasn't. I was on gay social media, and
Yes, and it's
someone
going to be there.
yes, and someone messaged me who, and I have a blank profile on gay social media. I will share my pictures immediately if I initiate contact with someone. But someone had reached out to me who I knew and recognized, and there was a link to their like sex acts on Twitter. And this person is running for political office. And I was like, what do I do with this information? Evidently share it on the podcast. I'm not going to say who it was,
I was about to say, oh
but
my
like,
God, friend, don't be in here ruining their chances of winning.
I'm not going to say who it was, but like, I think that we can, it's like separating the artist from the art, right? Like, I was like, sometimes I think we can. And other times, like, I think, where are we giving people like the permission to like evolve, and how are we practicing forgiveness, and how are we practicing like repair? Because that's the thing too. Is like some of the things that I have, I'm sure, said and done in the past, I wish I could do again now that I know information, like more information. Um, but I was just like, this is also why I don't send any sort of like provocative pictures with my face in them.
No
And
face, no
so like
case.
yeah.
I agree with you. I think so. Some of the critique and pushback, and I'm thinking of it because there was a congressperson, soon to be the Democratic winner, most likely in Pennsylvania today, and I apologize, I'm blanking on his name. He he brought up the point that he feels like people like Graham, essentially white men, often get a pass for things that other people could never get along with, get away with. Like if it was a black person, a gay person, it's like there's a standard of perfection that they're held against. But there's so much willingness for sympathy and excusing behavior for, everyday just average white men. And I see the argument for sure. I definitely think like there's nuance always. But I guess living in the real world, I'm like, at the end of the day, I might not like, because they're like, what makes this different than Donald Trump? And I was like, well, I think Donald Trump both is morally repugnant, but also just leadership wise. Because if you look into the personal lives of a lot of, even FDR or Martin Luther King, these people that are revered and idealized for what they did for the country, their personal lives were a mess. Like MLK was a cheater, womanizer in that sense. Um, FDR was literally doing whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like they weren't great people, but they did great things. And I don't know how you sit with that. I don't know what to do with that information per se. Because I think now we view it, I don't say with rose colored glasses, but we almost have this like rosy version of these people. And while I would like to imagine a world where people, because I don't think people are perfect, and I definitely recognize that people need space. And I think, like, somebody says I'm homophobic 15 years ago, and I'm like, 16 years ago, it's like, okay, yeah, it sucks, but I'm also like, y'all were saying homophobic stuff without context of what life was like 16 years ago. You'd be like, I can't believe they said that. I'm like, people were still saying no homo, that's gay. Like, that's what they were saying in 2010. Does
Yeah.
it make it right through 2016, 2026 eyes? No. But was I less likely to be offended by it back then? Yeah, because it was just commonplace. Like, we didn't even have gay marriage yet, you know what I'm saying? And so I think sometimes when people didn't live in a scenario, it doesn't make it right that it was happening, but it was commonplace. Like, ooh, somebody's grandma said something racist in 1955 or 1960. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
I would like for them to be progressive, but that's not, you are more likely to not be that than you were to be it. And my question is, what do you say now? Have you grown? Have you learned? And then some things we didn't even have the language for. Like, I didn't know anything about non-binary people in 2010. That wasn't the conversation.
Same.
And we had different languages for people. You know, there were certain words that are considered slurs now that were just how people referred to certain types of people. And now we're like, oh, that's not, you wouldn't use that. But it's like, are you going to hold somebody accountable for that when we were talking, having an entirely different conversation?
Yeah. I remember watching Project Runway, and I think it was Christian Siriano
Mhm.
who always used to describe things as like a hot tranny mess.
Right.
And yeah, and I was like, I remember again thinking at the time, this was I think early 2000s probably. And I remember describing things that way too, thinking that it was okay because, oh, here's this like he's a gay man, it's fine. And realizing too, not until I got older, that there's also a lot of like racism and transphobia in the, especially kind of on the LGB
Oh, yeah.
side of the community. And so it's like, oh, like again, like what kind of representation and like am I thinking that this is funny? And so yeah, you're right. Like the new
Yeah.
information and being able to change my mind and like I would hope that people would show me some grace if they said, "Yeah, you said this." I'd probably say, "Yeah, I did." And I don't say it anymore.
Yeah.
Like
Because now that's considered a slur, but back then that was,
that was just
people
yeah.
use that word freely.
Yep.
And so it wasn't, and even not even necessarily in a derogatory way. I mean, he was, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Sure.
that was just like shorthand for that type of person. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. We just don't use it anymore. But it
Yeah.
sucks that we've been, I don't know. I wish that, or it's like movies like Gone with the Wind, or just movies that we look at like as iconic things, but it's like, oh, there's stuff in here that we don't think like that anymore. People can't, I think sometimes it's hard for people to imagine that there's a world, like, case in point, domestic violence used to be looked at as a comedic tool, back in the day, which is of course horrible. But it's
Oh
like
yeah.
people didn't live in a world where that was the case when that was being created. So watching it, expecting for them to have known that. I think there was a great essayist, a great video essay from Olarmi Lurie, where she talked about how media literacy, oh no, how this didn't age well killed media literacy. Because she says
Mhm.
people often attribute like their personal morals and values to stuff that they watch and enjoy, as if you can't both be like, oh yeah, this is a fool now. I wouldn't do that. And also enjoy it. That's okay. And I really appreciated, it was a really great essay because she was like, you people have to be able to separate the fact that they like something. It's not a moral failing on you to like something. That has, as we've gotten older, we've grown and progressed. Because the funny part is, a lot of those shows would have been considered progressive at the time for even featuring a gay person, featuring a person that was gender different, or whatever the situation was, women working, or like, these were considered, ooh, I can't believe they're doing it. And now because we've gone to that point and further, they look outdated, or they look like, ooh, I wouldn't have maybe said it that way. And I just wish that sometimes people had that nuance. Bring nuance in for Pride Month. There you
Yes. I like this.
go.
Well, it's not only Pride Month as well, maybe as we start to approach the end of the episode. It's not only Pride Month, but it is also Men's Mental Health Month.
Is it really?
And yeah, it is. June is also Men's Mental Health Month.
Black
So,
Music Month as well.
hey, we love to
Uh,
see it. It's also the month of Juneteenth.
yes.
So, yes, a lot of great things happening in June. And it's going to be the last full month where I'm 39.
Whoop,
So,
whoop.
yeah, that's exciting. But I'm just curious what you are doing for your male mental health this month. How
Blocking
are you
men.
taking? What?
Blocking men, not responding to their messages, ignoring them. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, not dating 'em. I'm single. Um, can't say I'm ready to mingle, and maybe that's what I'm doing for my mental health. I've started working out more consistently and regularly now that my schedule is back to a more manageable, and it does make a difference, I will say. I've really tried to focus on, like, strength training and really building muscle when I can, so trying to do that, watching some of my sugar intake, which is always a challenge. But yeah, I'm telling you, limiting my time interacting with men is a game changer because, and I know they go, "Darius is mental health. How can you say that?" I did. You know what show you're listening to. Listen, I told you I'm always striving to be everyone's problematic fave. So
Yes.
how about you? What are
Yes.
you doing? Ooh, what are you doing that is about mental health?
Yeah, about my mental health. So, friend of the podcast, friend of Phoebe Award winner Caitlin, my therapist, is currently like she was out of town this week and doing
How dare
something
she?
fun.
No,
And I
how
don't
dare
need to be
she?
telling all of the business. But she she was spending time with friends and family. And then I'm going to be traveling as well. So I am going like 3 weeks without a therapy appointment. I'm a weekly guy. I
Me
go
too.
every, and so I have been writing a lot in my journal. I have also been leaving my house a lot more
Interesting.
the last few days. Yes, I've been spending more time at the library, which I love. I love the Denver Public Library system. And I am so much more productive with like work stuff when I get out of the house and when I go to the library and when I'm around people. Something else that I'm going to be taking a big trip. I've just kind of talked a little bit about this, but I was like, I'm going to be taking a big trip in preparation for my 40th birthday. So we have some great guest interviews lined up for you for
Yes.
the next couple of weeks. One you've heard before. Well, actually, both you've heard before. Both
Yeah.
you've heard before and loved them. So we're excited for those. And so I was like, yeah, I was like, just kind of like, I don't know, cleaning my house, hanging out with Phoebe because she's gonna go spend time with my parents. So I was like, just like honestly doubling down on the things that I really enjoy, cleaning out my refrigerator and like eating the food that I have and like and also like I still go out to eat all the time. But I was like, and just like
Oh, no
try to make
judgment.
it easier. And I'm like, you know what? I don't like to cook all that much. So I was like, if someone else is willing to, I'm going to. And I'm gonna go to a place where I can get some vegetables. So
Yeah.
yeah, so my physical I'm also exercise, still going to Zumba a couple times a week. I've been going for walks more around the neighborhood, which
Really?
has been really nice. And yeah, that's where I recorded my like May wandering thoughts, just wandering around. I heard some good positive feedback on that from some other folks too. Not just you,
I
how
like
they
it.
enjoyed my footsteps and the birds chirping and all that stuff. So yeah, trying to spend some time outside, trying to touch grass, trying to spend some time around people and yeah, just also trying to, like, be mindful of, like, my financial health as well, where I'm like, "I am ready to
Mm.
be done money on this trip." And but it's pretty much all paid for. So, like, I'm going into it completely
Yay.
paid like, I completely paid for it. Like, that's also really nice, and so it's like, I'm not worried about, like, "Oh my god, how am I gonna pay for this?" So, that also feels really good, but yeah, so that's
Oh, you
I'm on
did
my
make me
own
think
for a
of,
lot of this month.
yeah, I get it. It's
Therapy
like,
journal.
dang it, I'm sick of being single. You made me think of one other thing I have started doing. I have started
Ooh.
uh, reading more audiobooks. Well, listening to audiobooks. I'm starting this
Oh.
new one that I really like. I think, forgive me, I want to say it correct. I think it's How to Get and Keep a Gay Man or something like that, who I would love to talk to the author of because I've been enjoying it. It's very interesting. So I will give you more of my thoughts as I complete it. But there's been some
Yeah.
parts that's a little spicy to me. I'm like, wait a minute. Watch. Yes, it's called How to Find and Keep a Gay Man by Matt Vase. I just finished Hellbent by Brian Recker. So I've been trying to get through more books lately. I have a lot on my Audible that I just haven't played, and so I've been trying to do that more.
Yeah. May I recommend the Libby app to you? It is generally free through the library, so you're
Oh, we
not
love
giving
them.
money to the Amazon company. So
Oh,
may I
listen, you
recommend that?
there we go. I've had like 18 different ones, 18 different because at first I was using audiobooks, then I had Audible because it was just faster. And because I was like trying to find ways, because I have certain friends I have that are authors. And so I'm like, oh, okay, well, how do I get something where you can like count as a credit to you? Because I don't, it's not that I don't having the physical I need for my learning, I need the audio. And so while having both the books, some people I bought their books and I have the audio. And then certain people I just have the audio. It's a different experience for me having just the audio, but I've kind of got more accustomed to it because I don't have anything. It's harder for me because when I'm just listening, I'm more prone to zone out. So I have to like keep replaying. Like I need like a visual or something to stay focused. But what I've been doing, one way to help, this is already for me, I usually listen at like 1.25 or 1.4 speed because that's about the speed of my brain, but it still requires me to like make sure I'm paying attention. I'm learning, y'all. I'm getting better. So any tips, feel free to
Okay.
send them.
Yeah, I like this. So yeah, we'll send them on over.
But if I buy the book, like the ebook from a non Amazon joint, see, this is the problem of living in a capitalist society. It's really challenging because these places, they dominate everything.
They
But that's a
do.
whole conversation for another day. Yeah.
They do. Yes. And yes, that's right. They have monopoly power over this stuff. So yes. Well, if you enjoyed this episode, feel free to share it with a friend. Rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or the platform where you listen. Get in touch with us at Call Me Limbo Pod on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Threads. Send us an email at callmelimbopod@gmail.com. Go subscribe to our Substack. Get emailed the episodes if you want. See some of our written work. Callmelimbopod.substack.com. And we're in the final, week and a half, 2 weeks of our
Yeah.
spring subscription season. Please go become a Patreon member. Patreon.com/callmelimbopod. There are 3 levels where you can contribute. $2.35 a month, $4.69 a month, or $14.95 a month. We appreciate any level of support. And you can also send one-time contributions on Venmo and Cash App at Call Me Limbo Pod. Do us a favor. Send us
Gay
heterosexuals. Send us your money to make amends for any sort of homophobic things that you may have done in your life, even if it was unintentional. So yes, you can do that. Patreon.com/callmelimbopod or Venmo and Cash App at Call Me Limbo Pod. And also, the voting is open on Love Island, but also here the voting is open for the primary elections here in Colorado. Ballots were sent on Monday, June 8th. So they should be coming in your mail. Fill them out. Primary election day is June 30th. Vote for Julie Gonzalez for Senate. Vote for David Seligman for Attorney General. Vote for Milot Quiros if you're in Denver for House District 1 for Congress, and vote for Amanda Gonzalez for Secretary of State. That is who I am supporting. I have not made up my mind on governor. I know that I am not voting for Michael Bennet, though. So I have not decided if I'm going to vote for Phil Weiser or someone else. So, but yeah, so go vote. Vote with your dollar as well. Send us some money. And, Day, in the spirit of Pride Month, like I always say, I make him grow like Pinocchio. That's sound effects.
I wanted to do that the whole episode, is to test it out.
The other one that I had was when I was watching Love Island the other day. I literally yelled out, "Girl, you don't need a man!" Like, so that's the other one that I had. But yeah.
Well, thank y'all so much for listening. We're super excited for you guys to hear the upcoming episodes that we have for you while David's away. We did not forget about you. We've not missed the Friday. So I really want y'all to know this is the most commitment, I think. Besides my therapist, this is the longest commitment I've ever had. So I want you all to listen, laugh, share with a friend, enjoy it.
Yes.
But remember, when they go low.
We pull you for a chat. Like Love Island, you know? That's what they
So
always start their conversations. Can I pull you for a chat? So,
I'm excited to
so
watch this,
call
y'all.
me.
I'll watch it on Friday. Maybe that'll be my first Patreon. I don't know. I'll probably make a social media video ranting about it. There we go.
I love
I'll
it.
do that
Please
for
do.
y'all.
Yeah. Love it. Okay.
All
So
right,
call me
y'all.
Limbo.
We love you. So call us Limbo. Bye.
Bye.